Hey everyone, so today I'm going to do a very special video. This is kind of like how I stay motivated. How do I still keep doing keto? It's almost been about a year now for me being on keto, and there have been some, some ups and downs and some bumps for me on this, but for the most part, I have not changed my way of eating. And being keto and an awesome follower of mine has made some comments that it is hard for lots of people, and even for this person, to a lot of times keep the motivation for doing this diet, especially when the temptation of watching other people eating bread and carbs and fruit and things that we love, it's really hard to not want to go back to those things, or to find that even balance for you where you can kind of be in the middle of things. Like, I can have cheese, but I can't have nuts, and I can do caffeine, but I can't do cheese or nuts, or, finding that balance for you. It can be really hard, and sometimes because macros, just like any diet, knowing exactly how many macros and tracking and what it takes for you to lose weight, it is all a very hard mental thing. That's why I won't do it. If you guys want to know why I won't track macros, it's because my brain literally cannot handle that. I cannot wake up every day and measure every little piece of food I have, log every little gram of fat, and feel overboard if I'm doing too much or too little, or getting on and off the scale, being fluidy one day and losing weight one week and then not the other. I don't want to live that way. My biggest goal is, if I'm eating the right things, then the rest will happen. It's just like, if you save money, then, everything that comes with saving money is going to happen. You're going to have extra money. But, it's the right way about going about things. But if you're just trying to not spend money, that's still really hard, because you're not really focusing on the right goal or the right reasons. And so this is what I want to do to help you guys, why I stay motivated, how I stay motivated, and how you might be able to find what motivates you. So, as you guys know, for me, a big one is I have health issues. I have been diagnosed with lupus since I was 19. I had a surgery when I was 16 for my liver, because I get blood clots and internal bleeding. And then now I'm almost pretty much diagnosed with PCOS. So I have hormone imbalances. I mean, I've got issues. So what I eat and don't eat, I can tell drastically affects how I function as a person on a daily basis. So for me, that is a pretty big motivator right there. So I am lucky in the aspect that people say, like, man, I feel so bad for you. I'm like, not me. You guys are going to figure this out when you're 50 or 60 years old and realize it's too late. I'm actually only 28, and I have the chance to change everything right now, because if I eat ice cream, I know it the next day. These people won't feel it for 10 or 20 years later. So in my eyes, I feel bad for you, or them, I would say, because they don't know about keto a lot of times, or don't want to, because they're not willing to get off carbs. So that's a pretty big motivator all in itself. Second of all, because even though health, there's those naggings of like, yeah, but I want to be like everyone else. That always sets into my brain too. But here's the thing with that, is that I realize sometimes I just have to take it day by day. I'm like, you know what? If you really want bread, go for it. But you can eat it tomorrow. And sometimes just by getting through that one day, I'll feel back to normal, like, oh, I'm really glad I didn't do that. Never do what you feel like in the moment. If you notice that, a lot of times that's how temptations and things get us in all different aspects. Wherever you're weak in your life, that's when things get us, when we're tired, when we're stressed out, when we had a long day. So if you're going to do something, do it the next day. Because once you've had a good night's sleep, 10 to 1, you probably don't want to do it, or where you might have done an all-out binge, it turns out to be like a bite of dark chocolate instead of a whole pizza. Because I've been there before too. And what I realized is one piece of bread will never give me what a lifetime of keto could give me. And I do miss some of the things. I mean, who doesn't like bread, right? I mean, I love bread. I'll tell you that now. But once I've been away from it long enough, I realize I don't miss it that much. Because the image that I have built up around it, when I actually do try bread or have it, I'm like, you know, this isn't that amazing. I really don't miss this. And actually allowing yourself the chance to try that. I was at a volleyball tournament, and I packed all my own food. I did really good. And there was someone who bought like a bunch of the small bags of chips, and I love Lay's. Lay's are my favorite, just plain potato chips with salt. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to deny myself this because I'm going to be thinking about it. And I didn't do much. I had a friend, and she was going to get a bag. I'm like, do you mind if I just have one? And I ate one, and I'm like, this is so salty and so fatty. And I'm just like, after one, I was like, at first it was almost kind of satisfying, like, oh, I haven't had this in forever. But then as I finished chewing, I'm like, you know, this isn't as good as I remember it. And I was able to put it out of my mind. Now, sometimes that does not work for some people. So, you know, be careful with what you can handle. But that enough for me reminds me. And then after being on keto for a year, when I'm really having a down day and I just feel like nothing's going right, or like I'm not where I wanted to be, you know, I still planned on losing more weight than what I have right now. And I look back at my pictures from a year ago and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, that's all it takes for me is I go look at that picture from a year ago. I'm like, I am a different person. I'm a different person inside and out, but I can't even recognize me. Like my license now, when I go into a bar or something, I've had a couple friends with birthday parties, and whether I, you know, stop in or whatever, a lot of times they'll have to like stop and double check and look at me like, is this really her? And it's kind of cool to know is that I look that different that sometimes they don't believe it's really me, that they'll actually like stop me and ask me questions, and they're like, okay, you can go. Because it looks like it maybe is like my sister or a cousin or something, but it doesn't look like me. And I'm like, nope, that's me. I've lost a lot of weight. And they're like, wow, you know, to even tell you that I used to weigh 220 pounds, or was like more of like a size 14 to now like a size 6 from a year ago. Like that's my motivation, is I focus on the good things of my body. I let go of the past things, and I just remember like, you know what? I can play volleyball. I can do these things, and finding what works for me and for my family, and that I'm eating in a healthy way, that I have energy, and that this is what's best for my body, that I know I could die knowing that this was the right choice for me. I don't know if that helps anyone else or helps you stay motivated. It's definitely not easy sometimes, but a lot of times if I can just say, you know what, tomorrow, next week, if I can put it away, then it's just getting through one day at a time. Sometimes that's all you got. Don't forget to comment, share, like.